and I put on different hats as the occasion permits. I had transitioned from town planning several years ago to being a project manager, and then I transitioned to Agile. I call myself an Agile evangelist. I've led several teams working using Agile frameworks. Had an MSc in project management. I'm also a certified Safe 6 Agilist, professional Kanban trainer. I have several Scrum Master certifications and PMP as well. I'm a consultant and also a co-founder. What I do with organizations is help them build resilient Agile delivery organizations and teams. I'm also helping organizations embed AI in their strategy. AI has become like a baby of mine. It's been a couple of years. I picked an interest in AI, mostly the ethical aspects of AI, but I find myself these days also trying to develop models in AI as well. So thank you for joining us. Hoping the session will deliver true to its highlights and learning objectives. Thank you. Alex?
Thanks, Grace. Thank you so much. So hi, everyone. I'm just going to switch to the slide. So my name is Alex Bagidi. I am an IT consultant and AI enthusiast, or AI curious, if I can say that. So been working in the IT industry for the last 20 plus years. Worked in different fields, from telecommunication to aeronautics to now focusing on pharma mainly. Doing some consultancy in West Africa with my firm, Atypic Digital, and super happy to be part of the Agile think tank volunteer group with PMI Africa. So yeah, today we're super excited, Grace and I, to share with you our passion for AI and for Agile, and see how AI can help you guys as project managers and Agile professionals to thrive, right, in this new world full of complexity. So that's what we're going to talk about in the next few minutes. But before we jump in, we wanted to share a little video to kind of give you an overview of what's coming and what is now, what we already have today. So a short video, and we'll explain right after. Let me hit play, activate the closed caption for those of you who are maybe listening, and let me know, can you hear the audio? Just a little sound check real quick. Is the audio okay?
It's not coming up yet.
No sound.
Now it's good?
No.
Moving slowly.
No
audio.
Working.
No audio?
No audio, and the images aren't working.
Okay. Let me do a try again. Should be good. There we go. Trying one last time. And I'll hit play.
Isn't life about what we experience?
Beautiful.
Can I eat this?
Yes, dragon fruits are low in sugar.
What we hear?
Hey, what should I get here?
我在这里该点什么呢？
What we see?
Oh. Capture this.
And what we feel? What if we build more memories?
What are some fun things to do nearby?
Share more moments.
I played songs from the last time we were here.
What would happen if we rediscover our senses? What if devices weren't the experience?
Catch me up.
Lucy called and your flight is at 7 a.m.
Tell Lucy I'm on my way.
What if life was?
AI pin.
All right. So this short video just gives you an idea of what we have now. So this is what people say is the future of mobile phones, right? So the AI pin is a little device connected with AI and allows you to live different experiences around the world. You've seen the interpreter feature, allowing you to have conversation in your own language and get the AI pin to translate for the people who are next to you, for example. There are many, many other use of that little technology, but this is just to kind of open up the topic we want to cover today. So here is our agenda. And just for information, feel free to turn off your cameras. I see a few cameras on. Yeah, feel free to turn them off if you don't want people to see you on camera. All right, so here's the agenda. We'll discuss waterfall AI transition. We'll discuss AI-powered project management. How are we going to use AI in agile project management type of projects? We'll discuss ethics in AI, the new type of jobs being created in this new AI world, and we'll cover a few classes that PMI have created for you project managers to kind of kickstart that journey with AI tools. And we'll finish with a little demo by Grace to show you what PMI Infinity can do for you as project manager. So that's kind of the overview of our agenda today. Just a reminder, guys, remember, Agile is a mindset, right? Linked to 4 values, 12 principles, and a multitude of practices. If you still think that Agile equals Scrum, think again. Agile is not equal just Scrum. Scrum is just one of the many practices, the many ways of doing Agile. Kanban is another one, Discipline Agile is another one, etc. And now you will see together how we can use AI to help you on your Agile initiatives. The Agile family of practices is linked to the Lean universe, as you can see here, with Kanban being linked to both of them. And remember that Agile ways of working will help you even better if you're working on complex projects. Those complex projects are the projects where you have more unknown than known, the project where you are learning as you go, the project where you need to innovate, the project where you have a lot of uncertainty. Those are great for your Agile practices. A few words about the transition. So you are probably familiar more with traditional ways of project management like waterfall. Yes, that's great. It's that sequential way of going from the initiation phase to the planning, executing, monitoring, control, and closing. This is great. This is one tool in your toolbox as a project manager. But guys, there is so much more out there. You can use agile ways of working like Kanban, use the life cycles in DA. So build your toolbox. That's my humble advice to you project managers. Build your toolbox and make sure you have more than just waterfall in there, because we're navigating right now in a complex world. You probably heard about the acronym VUCA, right? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So to deal with all of that, you cannot really plan ahead. You cannot really plan and guess what's going to happen because so many variables are out there. And using also AI tools and all those AI ways can help you become a better and more equipped project manager. There are also what we call the hybrid approaches, so mixing waterfall and agile ways of working together, but this is beyond the scope of our presentation today. So remember, have more than just one tool in your toolbox as a project manager. That would be even better for you. AI-powered project management. How do we unlock the future, Grace?
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to navigate. Okay, thank you. Well, AI-powered project management, unlocking the future. I'm sure everybody's, within that curve of hype of Agile, of AI. The talk around town is AI, it's AI tools, the varying capabilities of AI, both in trying to do face recognition, LLMs, and humanoids. These are the trend these days. But we're narrowing here to how projects, basically AI can help us power our project management and unlock the future, right? And one of the ways is predictive analytics, right? I'm sure you've come across all of this. As we go on in this session, we'll dive deeper into it and basically explain a lot of things and have more of an interactive session as well. We talk of predictive analytics, right? You have numerous data from various projects you have carried out over the years, right? So what AI is here to do for you is help you really create a predictive analytics about the future, the prospect of another project you'll be doing, right? Usually, if you have to do such kind of predictive analytics for all the projects you've done over the years, it will take humongous effort and time. But what AI is doing for us is help us, constrict time and have more productivity, right? As we gather data and input and gain predictive analytics from a kind of AI LLMs or whatever model you have at your workplace. AI can also help us automate task allocations, right? Intelligent algorithms dynamically assign tasks based on team member skills. This is one growing area of AI. We know that there are a number of toolkits, framework that big tech organizations are creating to help project managers actually automate tasks. And in doing so, this intelligent AI can actually, from data of team members, their capabilities, their expertise, their skills, can actually assign tasks and properly assign tasks and just help us up our productivity and create more value around what we do. Intelligent collaboration, we've heard of AI virtual assistants. They help seamless communication, help in document sharing, help in real-time progress update, tracking updates, and fostering more connected and collaborative work environment. Basically, the whole idea of doing Agile, the whole idea of using AI tools is to help power our productivity, and that's what AI has come to help us do. Alex, next. Hi, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Don't worry.
Okay,
I am here. I
over
was
to you.
just leaving you. Yeah, thank you. And happy to see a few friends, a few Agilists from the PMI Africa community. Hi, Patrick. Hi, everyone. So if you're just joining us, we are going through the AI used in project management area. So let me talk about how you can use AI in Agile project delivery. Here are a few of the Scrum events, the daily Scrum, the sprint planning, the retrospective. Did you know that you can use AI assistants to help you in those events? For example, you can use what we call the AI notes in Microsoft Teams to summarize your action items that you identified in your retrospective, for example. So activating those features in Microsoft 365 will help you make your life easier, essentially, right? Instead of just going and looking at all the transcripts, your AI notes, the AI note feature can help you summarize all what was discussed in there and even identify key topics on if someone was identified during the discussion. If I said, hey, Grace, it will see it in the transcript and you can see everywhere Grace was pinged or Grace was called. So just an idea, just an example of how these new tools in Microsoft mainly or other providers can be used in these events. So Daily Scrum, just reminder, is your event where you can plan for the day. It goes beyond just giving a status to your PO or to your manager. Your daily Scrum should be an opportunity to plan your day and make sure that we're going towards our sprint goal. So AI assistants will help you identify any impediments, any blockers, and make sure that we have an action item or even an owner actioning and working on those. The sprint planning, that event where you can plan for your sprint, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 weeks long, it will, if you use predictive analytics, you'll be able to make sure the capacity you have in your team, the people working in your team have the capacity to focus and deliver on whatever you have in your sprint backlog. Because if you have, there's a problem. So AI predictive analytics tool, I'll show you a video in a moment from Atlassian. You'll see that there are now tools in Jira allowing you to make sure that you are not overloading your team, for example. And like I said, for the retrospective, you can have ways to identify any improvements and make sure you have action items linked to those. Moving on. Yeah, the future of Agile with AI. So AI, once again, is just a tool. AI is not there to replace your team members. AI is there to be maybe like an extra team member in your Agile teams. So if you as a project manager, you're not able to leverage that extra help from technology, you're missing out. I'm sorry, you are missing out. So you want to make sure that you understand those tools. And I'm glad PMI have developed the Gen AI course, for example, to see how you can use generative AI to maybe do some risk analysis. We'll have an example in a moment. So you can even personalize the way you're doing your project charter. There are many, many examples, many things you can do. So I strongly advise you to look at those courses. You'll learn a lot into those. All right. Yeah, and like I promised, let's look at a short, it's a one minute video to show you what's upcoming with AI in the Atlassian. So Atlassian is the company, it's an Australian company that created a tool called Jira. For those of you who don't know Jira, Confluence, or all those tools. So let's see what Atlassian is doing with AI in their products. Let me know if the audio works. It should work. There you go. That was the short video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to understand what was in there. So essentially, just to summarize real quick, what you had in there is the ability to speak your own language, for example. So translate the text in a language that you speak, being able to look for a word and see what is that? What does it mean, right? So use it in Jira or in Confluence. So that is in there. And Microsoft also have things like that. You probably heard about Copilot that allows you to use that AI capability in Office 365. So we'll have a little overview of that in a moment. So you can use AI to help you with risk, right? Who like risk in projects? We have to deal with risk as project managers, as Agile coaches, Agile practitioners. We have to deal with risk. So AI will help you do just that. If you do the generative AI class from PMI, you'll see there is a little query, and I have it here. I'm going to show you real quick in here. So ChatGPT, for example, will help you do a risk analysis, but it all depends on the prompt and how you structure the prompt. So your prompt will help you explain to your artificial intelligence, what's the context? What is happening? So for example, here, we're taking the case of the Fukushima nuclear disaster that happened in 2011. So we give the explanation of the problem. So here the problem explained is we had planned and structured our mechanisms to face waves that are 5.6 meters high. And when the tsunami happened, the waves were 14 meters high. So what should we do? How do we manage that so that we don't face that situation again? So when we put it in ChatGPT real quick, so I entered this query in ChatGPT, and I'm going to share my screen, share the right tab, just a moment. And share the window and share this here. Whoops. Looks like my session expired. There we go. We can relog in. Yeah, this is what happens when you're live. There we go. No big deal. So we have it. I had a snapshot ready anyway. So when you enter the prompt, so you can see the prompt here in the top. So we're saying Fukushima nuclear demonstrated poor risk management despite 10% change of this situation happening. TEPCO is the company, the energy company that faced this issue, right? So it cost 200 billion in damages and cleanup. And I want the AI to show me how to solve this situation. So how to do a detailed risk analysis. And you can even ask the AI to present it to you in a certain format, whether it is in just full text or in table, you can present that. So that's what I did here. You can see the prompt. If you can see, you can still see my screen, right, Grace? Just checking.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So I'm showing exactly. So I entered the prompt, and this is what it generated to me: a detailed table with different risk factors, the likelihood, the impact, the risk level, and even a proposed solution. And I can say, do a little highlight on those situations. That's what I did here in the prompt. Highlight the suggested solution in bold, and you can see that here it is. Okay. So it's really important for you project managers to learn how to talk to the machine, learn how to do some prompting so you can have these results. So back in the days, it used to take us hours to do this. Now, in a few minutes, in a few seconds, you can generate a great table like this and share it with your stakeholders. Let's go back real quick on the right tab. So that's just kind of what I wanted to show you in terms of risk mitigation and risk analysis using AI. Collaborative AI assistants. There are a few that you already know, guys. Have you heard about something called Siri on your Apple devices or Bixby on your Samsung devices? Those are what we call our AI assistants. But we tend to underuse them. So go online and look for what are the commands you can use, right? Instead of just saying, hey, Siri, tell me a joke, you can go even beyond that. You can ask Siri to generate and do some analysis, right? So great stuff that you need to learn to do today. And these are the main ones, the more known ones. So Bixby from Samsung, Google and Assistant from Google, of course, Siri from Apple, and Alexa that we use in our homes to play a song or do other stuff like that, right? So it goes to the automation elements that Grace was mentioning earlier too. And I'm going to pass it on to Grace. All yours, Grace. Ethicals.
Thank you for that, for taking us through the history and where we are currently in the whole AI drama and what it can do for us. And basically, most importantly, it's I think we should one thing we should point out is that we are still at the basics of the whole AI innovation and creation and all of that, and we're still going up. We're still digging the mines to get more things that companies can get from AI and help our Agile project management delivery. Basically, this slide will be talking about ethical considerations in AI adoption for project managers. What caught my attention basically with AI from the word go is ethical consideration, issues around ethics, issues around privacy, issues around security, and that's really been my concern. And I think that should also be the concern for most organizations, project managers, as sometimes we can get overwhelmed with the whole emergence of tools, tools for imagery, tools for LLMs, and all of that. I think we get to miss the very important aspect of the whole AI circle development and all of that, and that is the ethical consideration. So as AI becomes increasingly integrated into Agile project management, it's crucial to navigate our ethical landscape thoughtfully. And one way we can do that is transparency. I hear people talk about the death of Agile, but what we are seeing with the whole AI emergence is that we need our Agile more than ever. If you pay careful attention to the way AI is being developed, is creating models, and the whole life cycle of AI development, you realize that it's all around Agile kind of ways of working, right? So it's really important, really important at this time to really get our Agile going and ensure that we go back to the basics of transparency, of trust, of accountability, because those are also the hallmarks of the whole AI development phase, right? So here we're talking about transparency, transparency around how algorithms are developed, accountability around how AI derives its decision making, and then the mitigation bias. How do we mitigate biases, right? That are really loud these days in AI models. We see them in imageries that are developed. We've seen how AI models can take, consciousness on their own. There's been a debate around whether AI can be conscious or unconscious. Can have consciousness, right? And listening to AI experts, I've come to realize that the more you're feeding data to AI, the more AI becomes more intelligent, right? We want to speed up work, we want to create more time for other tasks, and then we're feeding data to our AI models. But inadvertently, what we're doing is making AI more intelligent, right? Can do stuff and gradually becomes conscious, right? When I begin to talk about the consciousness of AI, what comes to mind is a movie. I think the movie in 2014, Ex Machina, how this guy was developing his AI, got to developing a humanoid, and never knew the AI was actually gaining consciousness. Yeah, so let's not really go deep. We're talking about transparency here. So it's really important. Transparency is a big issue when it comes to AI development or AI circle, the circle of AI development, or even adopting it within our organizations, right? And then we're going also to talk about privacy and security concerns. Next slide, please, Alex. Hi, Alex.
Yes, I just changed the slide. Did you see it?
Okay, thank you very much. So when we keep talking about hearing about concerns and ethical kind of approach to AI development. So what are the privacy, data privacy, and the security concerns that we have out there? We have issues around data collections. We have issues around data storage. There are issues around data governance. If a number of you have done the 2 courses that PMI have rolled out, you realize that these issues are actually highlighted, right? We're just bringing it here because maybe we've not really paid attention to it, and we've paid attention to tooling, but we've not really paid attention to it. One of the issues is data collection. So the issue of transparency comes up again. How transparent are you in, how transparent have you been when it comes to, collection of data, especially for those that are in the face of AI adoption? I know from also course by PMI, it was noted that it's only about 33.3% of Agile project managers that are currently using AI within their organization. But we know that in the next 1 year, the number will keep going up. And so the issue of data collection and how transparent we are becomes a talking point. I remember seeing a video, I would say an interview recently of one of the big techs, one of the team lead in the big techs that develop one of the LLMs, the chatbots, one of the big chatbots we have there. And the question popped up around, where did you get your data to develop your model from? And you know, this lead inadvertently gave the answer and then retrieved it again and said she was not at liberty to say where the data was gotten from. But we know that for most of the big LLMs we have there, they're really talking, the ones that are at the center of the talking points. The data was gotten from public sources, and it could be your data, it could be my data, it could be your face or your daughter's face, or probably data from you've uploaded online for your organization. So the question around transparency is really important. It will have to come to the point of trusting where we got our data for AI model development or the entire cycle. The issue of data storage as well comes to question, right? So how do you store your data once you gain data? Basically, let me not get you lost here. When I talk of data, I'm talking around the data around your projects, right? So over the years, you've had several projects ongoing. Data have been collected. I know a number of organizations in Africa are still within that traditional kind of approach of, you know, doing projects and storing data. Most people are still struggling with migrating data to digital sources. But eventually, as the world continues to evolve, we'll have no excuse not to have data on digital sources. So when you begin to transfer your data, your project data into digital storage devices and digital, you know, cloud-based storage facilities, the question of security becomes a big talking point, right? And this will lead us to data governance. So how currently for those project managers who have the organizations actually adopting AI within their whole organizational strategy, do you have clear-cut policies or processes as to how data is responsibly managed? By management, we mean from the point of collection, storage, use, outputs, and then deletion. Do you have policies actually guarding this kind of processes, and so that there is no abuse in between? So these are some of the issues around the whole use of AI. Why we get lost with tooling, understanding how tools work, you know, acquiring the next tool that's the talking points in social media or around organizations. What we should be conscious of is where we are, how we're collecting our data, right? Are they transparent, means how we're storing them, and then do we have actually data governance structures in place? Next slide, please.
There you go.
Alex?
Yep, already changed. Maybe there's a little delay. Can you see it?
Okay, so one of the issues also around the whole AI process, the whole AI circling of adoption within organizations is the question of algorithmic bias and transparency again. Transparency is another issue we are highlighting here as well. And top on the list is the algorithmic bias. We've seen how a number of the AI models out there that help in generating images have come under scrutiny, right? People have complained and say some of these images are created with the mind, you know, the imagery of a certain region of the world, right? And so once you impute your pictures, it just kind of transforms you and makes you look like something you're not, right? And sometimes it's not the fault of the models, it's the kind of data that have been imputed to develop, have been uploaded to develop such models that are the big question, right? So we know that AI, the big talk around AI is garbage in, garbage out. The quality of data you impute to the quality of data you end up getting at the end of the day. So the question of unfair discrimination is a big question around AI models. There's also the question of transparency. How does an AI, right, arrive to its decision, right? How is it that I put in a prompt and then an AI gives me an output? How does it, what's the mechanism behind, you know, analyzing my prompt and then bringing out, you know, an output that I will eventually use for myself or for my organization? And then another question that raises is the explainability of AI right? And explainability is basically just what I explained in transparency as well. So how does an AI arrive at its decision making? How is it what the output, is it understandable and interpretable by humans? Is a big question around AI model development. The oversight, again, oversight is where you have most of you project managers. One of the big roles we have there, oversight. Do you have humans monitoring the input, humans monitoring the collection of data, humans monitoring the storage, humans monitoring the deletion, eventual deletion of data? Or is the whole adoption process of AI models within an organization, or as a project manager, do you do it without the oversight of humans? Is also a big question out there. The question of accountability, ensuring responsibility for AI's impact, right? So if I impute some prompts and then I get an output, and I just take those output and make it available to the public without really doing my oversight and scrutinizing everything that this particular model has turned out for me, what impact would I be, would the impact what would be the impact of my output to the general world, to my organization, right? So if I probably impute a prompt that tells a chatbot or an LLM to write out a press release for me, and then based on previous data, my conscious or unconscious biases that have really entered into as data to this model, it now churns out some biases that might, become a big topic within public discourse, right? If I am not there to do an oversight and to scrutinize every text that this AI churns out and just take the garbage in and then take the garbage out to the public, it becomes a big issue, and the question of it might just become an issue for the organization and keeps the organization in bad lights in the public. So some of the issues that we've highlighted are issues around data collection, data storage, the algorithmic bias, the transparency issues around AI development, the data collection, how it's it's basically digests this data and then brings out an output. Some of the question around model development and how we get to use AI, and I think it should become more and more topic of discussion, more and more topic of scrutiny around project managers and organizations, so that what we do in adopting AI is basically responsibility and accountability at the end of the day. Alex?
Yeah, sure. Let me switch. There we go. Thanks, Grace. Yeah, so just summarize a little bit the great stuff that Grace just shared. One key element, garbage in, garbage out. Make sure that the data you have in your models is the right information you want to use, the right data you want to use to do Gen AI, for example, right? To generate report, do predictive analytics or forecasts using AI. So really important to have those data governance mechanisms in place. All right, so let's talk about how AI will create new jobs. We've been through a few revolutions in the last 50 years, let's say. A few years ago, the jobs like Scrum Master, for example, yeah, you would not see a lot of job posts on those, right? So AI is also going to change those HR roles that are available out there. So let's take a look at a few of those roles in the next few slides here. One of them is this one, the prompt engineer. You probably heard that role now. So LLMs, a term that Grace used earlier, large language models. You need to understand how it works. It's essentially a huge database, a huge data model. So as a prompt engineer, your role is to make sure you are able to create a prompt. So structure the prompt in a way that the information that is presented to you is the right information you're expecting. So usually you want to make sure that you precise who you're talking to. So who are you? So if you are talking to project managers, hey, as a project manager, I want to see this. If the context is what we saw in the case earlier for Fukushima, explain that, hey, this is the context of a company merger, for example. And in that context, this is the amount of money invested on the project. This is what we spent. This is the progress we made on the project. And what do we have left? Okay, for example. So all this information on your project will help the AI generate whatever you need. If it is planning, if it is risk analysis or whatever, you need to make sure you share the right information to the AI to generate whatever you need. Okay, so as a prompt engineer, your role will be to make sure you understand the language of the machine and you're able to ask the right questions, structure it the right way, and even use the right tone. If you want to use a more professional, formal tone, you have to precise that in your prompt. Yeah, use a formal tone. If you want to put in bold sections of the answer, say it. So there is actually a cool resource available on the PMI website. Hey, PMI, great stuff. There's a thought leadership section on the PMI website where you can download a PowerPoint, a PDF file, sorry. And if you can still see my screen, here it is, talking to the machine. Prompt engineering essential for project professionals. So you can take a look at this short document. It's just 30 plus documents, 30 plus pages, and it talks about a lot of great stuff, a new competence, right? Prompting. It's really important to know how to use prompting nowadays. So cool reading. So if you haven't checked it yet, I recommend you take a look at it. All right, so prompt engineer, that's it. Let's talk about the AI ethicist. What is an AI ethicist, Grace?
Thank you, Alex. Before I go on, right, Nelson had asked for the links to the video you've shared. So if you could kindly add it to the chat.
Sure, no problem. Yep, I will do that, definitely. Doing it now. Okay.
I learned I'm talking too fast, so I'm going to really slow down on this. Thank you, big bro, Patrick. Okay, the AI ethicist, right? So I'm an ethicist. Let me call myself that. Not just an AI ethicist. I love ethics around workplace and how we carry out work. At the end of the day, the question is if we are delivering good impact, and that's what matters, right? So ethical oversight, policy development, and bias. Sorry.
Just a moment.
You took off my slide.
No, I did not.
Okay. We could go on,
me.
but
I was just
for the sake
I just want to make sure that I was sharing those links.
Okay.
Is it still sharing the right tab? Can you still see the AI ethicist?
You can copy. You can copy. Just get a copy. I think they need the
Hold
videos.
on. Yeah, no worries. There we go. You have it now. Sorry about that.
No problem, Alex. Thank you.
There you go.
Much appreciated. Okay, so and so the question around ethical oversight, right, is to ensure that the whole process of adopting AI within our work environment, within our work processes, is that we follow ethical procedures, right? So within the whole framework of AI and how it's been developed, I think AI developed quite so quickly. The bang with ChatGPT kept everybody, governments, regulatory agencies just far behind. And so it became a problem. And everybody, after the whole, the unveiling of ChatGPT, everyone else just went on developing AI models for this, AI models for that. At some point, I began categorizing all of the AI models, and I realized I needed an automation tool to actually help me solve the net and begin to help me really categorize, because it's in their thousands, right? You just can't keep up with the number of AI tools that are coming out. I think recently, just yesterday, I was informed Gemini has 1.5 Pro and really amazing features. So the question is, the procedures for developing all of this AI, were they ethical? It's a big question, right? And so if we don't adopt ethics in the way we begin development and bringing innovation, it becomes a big question for how those models are adopted in workplaces to actually develop, to create value at the end of the day for the customer. So we know EU had to take the bull by the horn to develop an EU AI Act, and that's really commendable. There are really slight issues around it and many complaints around some of the issues that have been highlighted around it, but it's a growing document, it's a live document. I believe it will be updated from time to time. And basically also the GDPR helps us guard data, help us, just keeps us streamlined within what is good and with what is bad. So in our attempt to adopt AI in organizations, it's important that we develop models, because very soon organizations are just taking the bull by the horn and developing models to help streamline their work processes. Nobody's not every organization is depending on open source models, which we'll talk about in a bit. So it's important that we are ethical in how we we go about adopting our AI models and creating a value at the end of the day. We know competition is the big word with organizations, but ethics is really important. Policy development as well. It's important that organizations craft policies at this time, at the rate at which AI is developing. We know it's at the peak of the hype curve, right? Gartner's hype curve, if anybody knows about that. We know AI is just at the peak at the moment. Very soon, everybody will come to the reality of the fact that it's a technology that has come to stay and will keep evolving over time. And I believe the pace of creation and development will begin to, slow down quite a bit. So it's important that organizations, right, begin to craft policies and guidelines around how the governance of AI within the organization, around how it is used, around how data is collected, data is stored, and data is, deleted at the end of the day. And this will depend on cross-functional collaboration, as Alex has highlighted, right? As AI continues to develop, a number of tasks will be automated, and AI will begin to do some things that we have been doing over the years. And maybe most people will begin to lose their jobs and new jobs will be created, right? So more functional roles are being created. Even the EU AI Acts have ended up creating a number of more job roles for project managers, right? More cross-functional job roles around organizations. So there will be more collaboration. It will be important that project managers up their skills, project managers upskill, project managers reskill, and project managers relearn things, right, in this evolving place of work. And so one other aspect we'll be looking at is the mitigation of biases, right? We are responsible people, and it's important that before we put out data out there, we scrutinize basically the AI models. We scrutinize whatever output they deliver based on our inputs, right? And uncover possible algorithmic biases, implement rigorous testing and auditing procedures within our governance framework. It's possible, so that there's fairness and inclusivity in the whole approach to our AI-powered decision making and also AI Agile Project Delivery. Or more important is to have diverse voices. The question of equity, inclusion, and diversity have been a raging theme throughout the world. The more we have diverse voices speak and come together to make better decision making, the more we'll have outputs or AI models that actually respect our cultures, AI models that respect our values, AI models that are built to basically respect the human race and not take over the human race. Thank you, Alex. Next slide, please.
Take over the human race. I hope that this doesn't happen. So yeah, it brings me to something important, guys. A lot of people think, oh, AI is going to come in and replace all our jobs because we saw that in the movies, Skynet taking control of the world. Yeah, guys, I don't know about that. Like, I'm a big fan of sci-fi, but I don't know. Instead, what I would say is, I think the people who are going to be ahead are the people who are adopting those tools and learning how to use them to their advantage and to make them more productive, more efficient. So make sure you're part of those people instead of just the people who are afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but don't let your fear stop you, okay? So adopt those tools as early as possible, understand them, and make sure you can use them in the way you're managing projects, helping you, supporting your teams. So that's my recommendation to you guys, all right? So don't let the fear stop you. All right, another one, another role that might appear soon and already starting to exist. So Grace was mentioning the importance of the data, the AI trainer. You can train your own AI because that artificial intelligence is based on data. It's based on a large model, and that model is, you have an input. You have to put information in there. You have to put knowledge in there. And it's based on that huge amount of data that will be able to do forecasting, predictive analysis, and even Gen AI based on all that information. If that information is biased, wrong, the quality is not there, of course, the result you get will not match the reality. Data creation, model building, performance monitoring, collaborative approach. So all this information, all these elements are things that an AI trainer will do. The AI trainer will need to understand what a data model is, understand how AI works in general. And one course that I suggest is the data landscape for Gen AI that you have. It's really an advanced class where you go and you have crash courses on how to use data to train your AI, among many other things, of course. Okay. A short video I wanted to show you on how to train your AI. It's a really short video, but that gives you an idea of something you can do today, a very practical video. Let's take a look at a tool called Runway that allows you to use your pictures to generate an AI version that you can reuse and retrain later. So let's take a quick look at this. I'm gonna hit play, just 2 minutes.
Welcome to Runway Academy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to train your own custom AI model. First, you're going to want to gather all of your images. I'll be training a portrait of myself for this video, but to get the best results, you'll want at least 15 images, all of which contain the following: subject in focus, different context and lighting across all of the photos, and photos only containing the one person or thing that you want to train the model on. For photos that you have on your phone, it's a good idea to use the crop tool to make sure everything looks good before uploading to Runway. Head over to the AI Magic tools in Runway and click on Portrait Generator. From there, upload the photos from your computer or from your Runway Assets folder and give your model a unique keyword. Aim to have this keyword be fairly simple and easy to remember. Now, you're ready to train your own AI model, which takes about 30 minutes. Feel free to wait it out, grab a bite to eat, or come back to it later. But once it's finished, you can click on your avatar image and Runway will automatically give you 100 stunning images to browse through and admire. In fact, I'm going to make this one my Twitter profile picture right now. To generate your own custom creations, head over to text to image and change the model from default to the keyword that you selected. Now enter in your text prompt, making sure to include the keyword. Let's try professional studio portrait of Ian, black and white, shallow focus, bokeh, artistic. And now the possibilities are endless and you can turn anything into everything. Thank you for watching this quick tutorial. If you need to get in touch with us, use this button on your dashboard at any time.
There you go. So yeah, like Andrea was saying, yeah, you can see now where all these people are generating those nice AI videos that you might have seen on LinkedIn or even on Instagram. Just one tool. You have Runway, you have Midjourney, you have many tools. I'm not going to list them all here, but know that you need to start using them. Have fun with it. They're fun tools to use, to get used to. You probably have seen those AI generated images where you have a mom running after a child with a chicken or something like that. So those are generated with Midjourney or tools like Runway here. So yeah, just a fun way to start your AI adoption journey. All right, back to you, Grace, about AI safety engineer.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Really, thank you for the videos. They've really been helpful. So why we brought up this slide basically is just to help, not just to highlight one of the job roles that you eventually be seeing and becoming very popular, is the fact that the job of this particular person helps give you, it creates like an approach as to how an AI model is developed in an ethical manner, right? And the guardrails around those ethical approaches to AI development. So the first would be to secure AI development. You ensure robust security measures throughout the AI development lifecycle, right? So you know the roles and the skills around security and web development and all of that. Those would be skills that will be needed for this time, because as more and more people are coming online, as more and more people are doing things online, you definitely be in need of a safety engineer, of the understanding of how the web works, of the understanding of how data is accumulated, is imputed, is, you know, the AI, like it digests it and then gives an output. So, and then embed ethical principles and oversight into AI models, right? And so that is what the EU AI Act has done as well. It has also helped provided roles for it has not just created new roles, it also helped highlight the project manager's role within the whole kind of, I would say, evolving kind of organizational structure we have in this post-AI, you know, innovation and all of that. So we have the need for robust testing, and is to validate AI's resilience against adversarial attacks. So imagine back then when the web was a big thing and everybody was getting onto the web, and there were instances of hacks and all of that. So people who had website needed the services of someone that could help fend off attacks, right? Create a robust system around your website to fend off attacks. That would be the same thing for AI system, because as good people are developing AI for good uses, also some other people are also developing AI for harmful uses. And sometimes the intention is not really to create harm. The intention is just to test. But at the end of the day, you might just end up creating harm for the organization or for the world at large. So there's need for creating some kind of mechanism to fend off this kind of attacks. And then incident responses. So you have mechanisms also around which if there's an incident, there's a prompt approach to reporting the incidents and tackling it as quickly as possible. Next slide, please, Alex. Okay, this is a very important, right? So if you don't get anything from this, if you don't get anything we're saying, if you don't really understand what it means by the AI lifecycle, as a project manager who wants to begin to learn how to use AI tools and begin to use them for your organizational work or your projects, you have to understand the difference between open source tools, right, and proprietary AI tools, right? So open source are those those commercial tools that are everywhere, right, where you can go upload your data. There are many advantages to having open source tools, right? You can just go in, input your data, and it gives you an output, right? Those people, those organizations or people who are developing those AI have created, kind of framework that incorporates a community where you can learn, where you can ask questions, where you can both, just go on a journey of understanding the AI tool, right? But the question around open source AI tool, which are usually mostly are cloud-based, is that the security of your data, right? So as you feed in more data, more prompts, let me at some point stop using more data. As you feed in more prompts and maybe upload your company data or your project data to those AI, what you're doing is helping the AI become more and more intelligent. You're helping those open source tools gather a variety of data across continents, across communities, across organizations, and they're becoming more intelligent. And as the word goes, they say data is the new oil. You're helping them make more money, and you're also exposing organizational secrets to open source tools. Sorry, Alex. I think the slide has gone off. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can see you. I can only see
you. Can hear me? Oh, you cannot
I can
hear me?
hear you.
Okay, my bad.
I can
hear
you. Okay,
Teams just crashed, so back and back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, hey,
Apologies.
No problem. There you go, back online.
Okay, if you can go to the next slide, so it helps create a better
Just
understanding of what I'm saying.
a
Yeah,
second. Here you are.
It's not up on my side, but I'd go on if everybody else can see what.
It will be up.
Okay,
I don't know
good.
if you can. Good.
Okay. So, like I was saying, the open source tools helps with better flexibility and collaboration, right? You can unlock a lot of benefit from a vibrant community that is driving innovation. It can be cost effective, right? When implementing costs, you can just go in, feed in your data. You can do it on the web and maybe decide to install it on your PC and all of that. But the question again is, you might be feeding the open source tools with more data and making it more intelligent, right? So one safe way you can start your AI tool journey is probably create a GPT. I think ChatGPT has helped with that, just like PMI did with PMI Infinity. You can also create your GPT, which becomes proprietary to you, to your project or to your organization, where you're feeding data. Yes, you're feeding your project data, and from time to time you can create your risk log, you can create your resource use allocation, you can create reports, you can do a whole lot of things from having a proprietary tool. So, sorry, next slide, Alex.
Yeah, sure. Just a moment.
Yeah.
There you go.
The importance of a proprietary tool is that this kind of proprietary tools sometimes are tailored to your organizational needs. So they are probably an AI kind of framework that you might buy from a vendor, right, and install within your organization, right? And this can be streamlined or integrated to support the services, the workflow within your organization. And so data doesn't go out. It has more security, it is more stable, it has more support. You can from time to time contact vendor if you have issues, and it helps you just do your basic work, right? But it doesn't give you that flexibility of open source, where you have a community, a thriving community where you learn together, right? You hear of the new evolving kind of tools and the new features that have been added. But a proprietary tool is made tailor fit for your project or your organization, right? As you continue to evolve, and like I said, I've had a number of people, even small organizations, startups, begin to develop their own model that is tailor-made and fit to their organizational need and processes, right? So I think more and more organizations will continue to go that route, especially at the point where it becomes less and less expensive to develop models. But I've come across videos online on YouTube where you can just even create a simple chat box using an Excel sheet. Those are possible, right? So it's an evolving field. It's a really exciting times. You can get your hands on creating a model or beginning to learn the various tools available in the market for different aspects of your project management processes. I think there are varying tools that are available to that. So basically, that's what this slide is talking about: safety, reliability, stability, and support versus, just giving your data out there for the public to have access to. Thank you. Alex, I think the next
Sounds
slide
good.
is for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. So you're probably wondering, how do I pick the right tool for me? Like, where do I start? There's so many great tools out there. I even discovered recently a tool called, I think it's called Lippy or Lipsy, something like that. So it's a tool that allows you, it's an AI tool that allows you to upload a video in any language. And if you activate a button, it will translate it in whatever the language is. So let's say the video is in English. You can activate the translation so that you can look at it in Spanish, in French. And what is nice about it is even the lip movement will be synchronized to whatever language you put it in. So it's not just the translation, it's really the person is talking and you can see the lips following the language you want it to do. So a lot of great tools out there available. So the things to consider is, yes, what do you need it for? Is it just to generate images? Is it to generate documents? Is it to assist or to brainstorm? So depending on what you're trying to do on your project, you got to pick the right tool. The capabilities. So where are you on your AI adoption journey? Are you just starting? Are you more advanced? Have you ever trained an AI? Have you created prompts before? So all these things has to be taken into account before you pick an AI tool. So many pros and cons to take into account. Security. Yeah, just don't put any data out there. You got to make sure that you are training your models using data. If it's just internally in your organization, that's one thing. But if it's data that's going to be shared with the public, make sure that you have the right data governance mechanisms in place, like Grace was mentioning earlier. Continuous learning. Yeah, I think Grace and I have been through the two classes, the two courses that PMI are offering. There are many providers for training. OpenAI have great courses. You saw earlier the Runway Academy that gives you training on how to train a model. So if you want to learn, there are many resources out there. You just got to be curious and get out there to learn how to use AI for your projects. I think I have another video here. Oh, there we go. So I like visual examples. I'm a visual learner. So I wanted to show you as project managers, you probably have heard about something called Microsoft Planner. So let's see how you're going to use AI in this Microsoft tool called Microsoft Planner. Let's take a quick look. Another short video for you. We're almost done.
The Microsoft Planner team is excited to unveil Copilot in the new Planner. With the power of generative AI, Copilot streamlines the planning, management, and execution of your work, keeping you informed as you achieve your goals. Get ready to transform the way you and your team work with Copilot in Planner. Planning is critical to any successful project. This starts with setting the right goals and breaking down the work to achieve them. Ask Copilot to plan for your next project, and it will start generating the work breakdown. Even the most thoughtful plans require ongoing management and tracking. When it's time to triage an issue, expand scope, or make other changes to the plan, Copilot can help. Just ask Copilot to track a new goal, what tasks are behind, or which team members have the highest workload. Effective execution is key to actually achieving your planned goals. With Copilot as your digital assistant, at how you plan with Copilot. Let's say we're getting ready to initiate a product launch. I want to track this work in the new planner. I'll start by creating a plan and naming it product launch. Now, let's start the planning process. This can sometimes be tedious, but luckily Copilot helps speed it up. I can simply ask Copilot to plan for a product launch. Copilot immediately starts generating the plan, analyzing our goals, and breaking down the work to accomplish them. The Copilot generated plan is a great start, and I can keep it now if I wanted. I notice that retrospective work is missing from the plan. I'll ask Copilot to include work to validate successful launch. This looks great. I can easily keep the generated tasks, adding them directly to the plan. Planning this launch is off to a great start. Now, I want to add some more detail to help with execution. I can manually add subtasks. For example, I'll add a subtask to collect feedback. As always, I'm in control, but this process can get a bit tedious. I'll use Copilot to make it easier. I'll ask Copilot to add subtasks for analyze support inquiries. We are adding tasks at the subtask level, and Copilot generates accordingly. Now, I can repeat this process for whatever aspect of the work I want and build out a detailed plan in minutes. We're all excited to start this transition to a whole new way of planning, managing, and executing work.
There you go. There you have it. So you can see how this is going to change your life as project managers now. Pretty cool, right? So if you haven't looked at these great courses yet, please, I suggest you do. I think someone shared the link to those classes in the chat already. If you go on the PMI.org website, you'll see them in there. So generative AI overview for project managers, a great one. It's a pretty quick one also. You'll see there a few prompts to create user stories, for example. Do you know you can do that with ChatGPT? Pretty cool, right? So you'll have examples of prompts you can use to create user stories, to generate project charters, to generate project schedules, etc., etc. Actually, I think I have, if I may, real quick, let me do this and share it in the other screen. I have it open, I think, real quick, and we're almost at the end here. Voila, a window, here it is. So these classes are free if you are a PMI member, the two classes, the data landscape and the generative AI for project managers. I'm not sure if it's going to open. There we go. Here it is. So when you get in there, I'm not going to disclose everything. No spoilers there. But a cool part of the generative AI class is this lab here. In this lab, you'll be able to see a few examples, a few things, just to get you to practice in prompting. You see, make decision, identify critical path, and they even give you examples of prompts that you can enter in ChatGPT or in PMI Infinity, create a business case, a project charter, a user story, etc. So I showed you the managed risk earlier as an example. All right. Cool. What about the next one? The other class is the data landscape of generative AI for project managers. Here's, like I said, it was a little more advanced class, but you have great examples on and focusing more on the data aspect behind AI. It was a library of many tools. If you don't know where to start, once again, you can use the resources available in this class. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please do. You're missing out if you haven't. Of course, it was a little knowledge check because you'll get a little certificate saying that you went through the training and you've learned a lot about generative AI and data in AI. Voila, let me go back in that Menti slide. And once again, feel free to ask questions in the chat or using Menti. We'll be super happy to answer those. Here we are again. Go back to the right one. Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's time for a little demo of the PMI Infinity tool. Grace, are you ready for this? Not sure if you're there, Grace. Oh, did we lose Grace? Yeah, so I see someone is asking for the course name. So yeah, generative AI for project management. Yeah, you saw the Patrick already responding. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks, really appreciate it. Grace, are you there? You're supposed to have the PMI Infinity demo now. Is it just me? Okay. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I think there's a little technical issue. Okay. So if you don't know where to go to get to the PMI Infinity tool, which is an AI, trained AI by PMI. So you go on this website, Infinity, I'll put it in the chat, infinity.pmi.org. And you'll see that the window looks a little bit like ChatGPT. I think I had it open earlier. Let's open it here. Infinity.pmi.org. Oh, I think Grace is probably reconnecting. I'm just going to show you the interface before she joins and give us a little tour. She's the best at that part. I'm going to let her focus on that. But just if you've never been there, here it is. This is what it looks like. There we go. You'll notice that it's based on GPT-4 Turbo, and in there you talk about project management, program management, WBS. So you have a few examples on top. They even give you prompt engineering tips and tricks that you can use if you don't know how to do prompting. You have references you can use there to learn and start the right way. All right. So whenever Grace joins us back, maybe she can go and do a little demo of the PMI Infinity for us. I'm going to let her do that. If not, if you've ever used ChatGPT, you'll be able to play around with that tool. But in the meantime, I'm open to questions while Grace is joining us back. Lucy is asking, are PDO self-reported for this webinar? I'm going to let the PMI Africa folks respond to that. But talking about PDUs, those two courses give you 5 PDUs each. So if you're looking for PDUs, do those courses and you'll get 10 PDUs, just FYI. But I think we have 1.5 PDUs for this session, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Mimi?
Yes, Alex, I confirm that there will be PDUs assigned. And
Okay,
the
awesome.
PDU claim code has just been shared by Nelson. So for all those connected, just check the chats and you just see the PDU claim code. You can just use it and report the PDU. It will automatically fill on the form on the platform. You just validate and the global team will just assign this PDU to your profile.
Awesome.
All right, so Alex, I guess it's question time.
I think so too.
All right,
Yeah.
so thanks very much.
Hopefully Grace can join us again. That would be great.
Yeah. We hope Grace to join us back. Unfortunately, we are at the end of this great session, but the good news is that it's just the first of a long series that we'll have throughout this year. So if you have a question, just raise your hand. You can just see the raise your hand button from on Teams. So if you have a question, just raise your hand. Or if you are in an environment where you can talk, you can just drop the question on the chat. We'll pick it up from there.
And yeah, feel free to reach out to Grace or myself. You have our contacts, email, and LinkedIn profiles in there. So we'll be super happy to share and discuss with you about AI, Agile, or any of those topics. Thank you, guys. So yeah,
awesome.
Feel free to send us your questions. I'll do my best to answer. I miss my friend Grace.
All right. So we have one question.
Yeah,
Dr. Asha. Yeah, you can open your mic and go ahead for your question.
I think, yeah. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Hi.
I'm Argaw.
Good evening.
I'm Argaw from Ethiopia.
Hi, welcome from Ethiopia. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for such kind of amazing training, and it is very timely issues. this afternoon, I was just reading one of the article related to this AI issues. And I think the worlds are moving to those directions. And the article says that around 40% of maybe the banking industry may lose their job because of these AI issues. Which was, I think, posted today's cases. When that is especially banking industry. Anyhow, coming to our continent, African scenario, especially when we say about the project management issues, which we are striving to come up to finish our project, especially any project related to the project management. We need more issues rather than which AI issues. I do share what the PMI is saying and what the presentation, the nice presentation by Grace, as well as collaboration with Alex, which I do share. However, our continent also is not a separate continent. We are, a member of the globe. But my question or my suggestion related to this is the first one. How can we strengthen our project management scenario, project management principle, project management issues? Because we do have so many young professionals are here in Africa. So how can we conquer the project management, maybe the PMP or whatever, in a very broad? Secondly, when I think Alex shared the PMI Infinity and the others, especially that are linking with ChatGPT, sometimes ChatGPT asking, especially ChatGPT Plus and others, when we see about 4.0 or 3.5 above, they are, asking about maybe the phone number or some paid issues and so on. So with this regard, how can our professionals use in a whole? Maybe some of the companies may use for their business case, but for our students, when we say we have to start this from the school, from the universities, even from high school level up. So in this case, how can we work on, or is there any kind of, maybe some donation or something which we can spread in these issues in the whole? Just to give you one information, my government, His Excellency the Prime Minister Drabi, he already has initiated, which is an Artificial Intelligence Institute, as well as as a digital economy, which they are trying to show with coming with the young people, or especially from like grade 12, grade 10 students, before joining the universities, they have to make their situation is on to train such kind of cases. Anyhow, if we are not moving that way, the world will coming to our side. So in this case, such kind of initiations are here that are not in a big scale, even to cover here in Ethiopia or in Africa. In such kind of cases, as a PMI, as a chapter leader, we are here. What can we do? Just to make a move initiation in such a way that we can spread this spirit to all all of our nation, all of our young nation, especially our project managers to do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Grace, and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rasha. Thank you. I heard a few questions. I hope I understand the question, but let me try to answer to the last one. You talked about making AI accessible, making sure that we make it available for schools, if I understand well. Exactly. In Africa, I would say one strength we have in Africa is the access to mobile phones, for example, and smartphones. These tools are available on phones. They are made mobile ready, most of them. So I think the adoption will be pretty fast in Africa and in part of the world where people have a mobile phone in their pockets. And not everybody have the means to buy a PC. I think, let me do the analogy with when we just had the internet or when we just started using Microsoft Office. The earlier we put it in the classrooms and in the schools, the better it is. Nowadays, we have access to YouTubes and all these new streaming services to learn, right? So us as trainers, make sure we expose the people we work with to these new tools. So we play our role as trainers, we do our best, but I think all the leaders and all the professionals around out there should be acting as evangelists and make sure that the youngest generations are aware that these tools are available. I see kids using ChatGPT to write their essays. Yeah, okay, that's fine, that's fun. But we got to make sure we don't stop using our brains too. It's important, right? Remember, AI is just a tool. It's not here to replace our ability to reflect. So yes, use the tools, but don't forget that you also have an intelligence. Don't just focus on the artificial one. The first question you asked about, I think it was about project management, the PMP. We've seen that the PMP have evolved over the last years. Now it's 50% agile, 50% traditional project management. I'm guessing, this is really a guess, I think at some point maybe we'll add some AI new skills, right? So in the triangle, you have the ways of working in there. So I'm guessing, and based on the two classes we see created by PMI, maybe at some point we'll add also in the ability to include AI skills in there. So I think in the next few years, becoming a great project manager will involve knowing or understanding the AI tools available out there. So that's just my humble opinion. I wish we had Grace online to also give her input, but I don't see her online yet. So there you go. I hope I answered your question, Dr. Rasha.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciation, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm back. My apologies.
Hey, Grace is back. All right.
Yeah, welcome back, Grace.
Welcome back, Grace.
My apologies. I listened to your
cool.
question, right? Seriously, yeah. There's need to upskill. Most importantly, there's serious need to upskill, especially because of the new jobs that we created, and as well as we need to hone our prompt engineering skills. If there's anything I've been doing aside taking trainings on AI and business strategy, it is honing my prompt engineering skills, right? So I've come to realize the LLMs work with context. So I should be able to contextualize my question in a way that the response that comes out gives me what I want. So prompt engineering is like a go-to skill for me these days. It's really important. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Thanks, Doctor, for your question. So we have another question. So we'll take maybe the last two questions. And so Mary Rishin, can you please open your mic? Hello, Mary.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much for this time. It's quite a rich one. Sorry, I'm using a screen, so I'm a bit off the screen. I just have one question. How we talked, you guys talked about brilliantly. You guys talked about the positive sides of AI. Would there be any negative sides to this? We already know that everyone is afraid that this might take their job away. we'll just push that aside for now. We don't want to get into that right now, but I wanted to know, are there some negative parts to AI that you guys want to share with us today?
Absolutely. Grace, we missed you. Go ahead, Grace, if you have anything. I'm going to share my side. I'm going to share my side of the story. We haven't heard from you yet, so go ahead.
Okay, my apologies again.
No problem.
Right. So the negative sides to, especially as we had within the session that we had mentioned, is the caution with data use, especially your organizational data that relates to your projects, right? So the more data you feed into an AI, the more it learns from your data, right? It's like giving it more consciousness of your context, right? So you're making it more intelligent, and especially when we begin to use AI without that human intervention, we run the risk of, being on the negative side of AI. Definitely. I'm sure maybe a number of you might not have heard, there was a model that was hurriedly released on social media, and the model was busy interacting with people, and as people were feeding in responses, the model went awry. Seriously, it became both it was picking on the words and the abuses and the all of the negative wordings that people were using, and was giving it back to them. It was more like a back and forth, right? So AI becomes really intelligent as you feed it with more data. I was recently also listening to an interview with Stephen Bartlett, and one of the big top shots at Google at some point. He left Google because of the pace at which AI was developing and the lack of the governance framework and the ethical kind of consideration in AI development. And he was believing that he gave an example of how they were training robots with data over the years, and the robots weren't responding. And one day he walked into the office, and just from the corner of his eye, he saw this robot picked up. They were training the robots actually with on how to pick yellow balls. And then from the corner of his eyes, he saw this robot picked up this ball. And from that time, he knew that all of the data they had been using to train the model actually brought it to that point. So the more you feed data to an AI model, the more intelligent you're making it to be. There's this concept called retrieval augmentation. And that is the fact that an AI gets to improve by the data that it's fed with. So as we are making AI more and more intelligent, it behoves on us to also probably go a step further and become more and more intelligent at the data, and put, guardrails within our development and innovation of AI, so that we are not at the receiving end at the end of the day. I think that's just my point. Thank you. Alex?
Yeah, thanks, Grace. Mary, your question is a heavy one to kind of conclude on, but we did not focus just on the nice side of AI. There is also a pretty dark side around AI. It goes back to the quality of data, to the biases in the data. I have an example in mind. I pasted a video in the chat here about AI used in healthcare. So imagine you use the wrong data to make diagnostics. If the medical professionals were using AI to predict or to identify what's the disease, and make the wrong decision based on the wrong data, can you imagine what it does? Another example that comes to mind is we're starting to see more and more self-driving cars now, and those use AI. At some point, I was watching a documentary talking about the case where a car have to hit someone. Is it going to hit the older person or the kid? These are really heavy questions, right? So these are ethical questions that are being analyzed, are being studied by the AI professionals nowadays. So not everything is rainbow and sunshine around AI, unfortunately. But you're right, we need to take those into account. And that's why we talked about ethics, we talked about data governance, and us as project management professionals, we want to make sure that we are making our AI, we're training our AIs not to be dumb, right? So we want our AI to be smart, because if we don't use the right models and the right information, the right data, we'll base our decisions on the wrong information. We really don't want that. So I hope it answered your question, Mary.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. I actually asked that question because when we meet people everywhere, everyone is just talking about the beautiful side of AI. And then I thought it's very important that when we train for this, we should also train on the other side of it, just like we're doing project management. You know?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You just made me think about something. No problem. You made me think about something that happened in the movie industry recently. The people writing scenarios in the movies, they were on strike because some companies were using AI to generate new movie scenarios, and they did a strike for many months because they wanted to make sure we're not using AI, because people are gonna lose their jobs if they do that. And AI generating actors in videos, all these things are coming. So we want to make sure we, like you said, Mary, we want to make sure we keep an eye on the risk behind the use of AI tools. Thanks again for the great question.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks, Grace. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So thank you so much, Grace and Alex. I guess it's difficult for us to come to an end because we want more. It was so insightful. And I mean, when you check even the chat, you could see the appreciation from the audience. So thank you so much. And I mean, we hope to see you soon. And we know from our end that you have a session very soon. So thanks again to all those who got connected. We'll just follow up with an email where you also have a link for the survey, just to give us a feedback regarding the session, what we can do better, and what you also appreciated. So, and also in that same email, you have the link to the video or the recording. Yeah, so that for those who want to also go back and get more information regarding whatever has been shared, you have that opportunity. We also share the links of the insightful videos from Alex and also the deck. And yeah, that's it. So thanks everyone. See you at the end of this month. So in 2 weeks, we'll also have another session with another senior volunteer from the Agile think tank, Yannick, who will entertain us on AI and on Agile and ethics. Yeah, so we hope to also see you in your numbers. So on these notes, I just want to say a good evening to you all, and see you next time. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good evening.
Take care. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.